Hello friends, thank you for watching this video. I am Mohamad, and today we're going to be seeing how we can actually utilize Google in order for us to authenticate our users inside our .NET Web API. We're going to be going through step by step of how we can set up everything that we need inside our web application and what we need to do inside our Google console in order for us to enable this and actually have keys available for us to utilize. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. It will really help the channel. As well, if you'd like to support me, please consider supporting me on Patreon or buy me a coffee. With that said, grab a cup of coffee and let's get started. So what we want to do here today is we want to first of all create our web API, and we're going to be utilizing our MVC application within our .NET template in order for us to use this. So we're going to start by adding .NET new MVC, and we're going to specify the authentication type, and I'm going to say it's going to be individual, and this will help us with the template code that .NET will generate for us in order for us to directly have everything ready rather than us having to add everything that we need directly. So this will allow us to basically accelerate our work, and then I'm going to give my application a name. I'm going to call it sample Google Auth. So now that our application has been created, now let's open this in Rider. So now that my application has opened in Rider, what I want to do first is I want to start configuring my authentication service. So if I take a look right now here inside my areas, as you can see, I have an areas folder, I have an identity which automatically has been added for me. I have pages and I have the view start. As you can see here, all of the different log in, log out application has not been added yet. I'm going to be scaffolding them in order for me to utilize them. But as we can see here, all of these has already been available for me. If I open my program.cs and we take a look at what's happening here, we can see here that my connection string has already been set up. I'm utilizing SQLite for my database. I have my default identity which has been added for me out of the box, and as you can see here as well, I have my authorization has been added in place. So all of this is template code that .NET has provided me when I created my web application. So what I want to do right now is I want to add some additional items to this. So first of all is I'm going to go here before the builder.build. I'm going to put builder.services.configure, and I'm going to configure the identity option, and from here basically I'm going to have a lot of different options that I want to actually utilize just to make my identity is much better. And there's a lot of options that I want to set up here in order for me to have much more control about how my identity will behave. So I'm going to start first by the password. So I'm going to put options.password.require digits equal true. So this means that if I'm not using Google, I'm using the normal authentication, this will require, any password will require digits. And I'm going to put options.password.required length. I'm going to say it's going to be at least of 12 characters. I'm going to put options.password again, and I'm going to say require lowercase equal true because I want it to have lowercase and uppercase. Options.password.required uppercase, I'm going to say that equal true as well. And one last thing regarding password, which is going to be require non-alphanumeric, and I'm going to say this equal true. So these are the configuration that I want to set up for the password. Now I want to specify the lockout configurations. So I'm going to put options.lockout. I'm going to specify here the allowed for new user. I'm going to say this is going to be equal to true. I'm going to put options.lockout.default lockout time span equal. And here basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be defining the timestamp before the user is being locked out. And I'm going to put timestamp from minutes, and I'm going to say 5 minutes of inactivity. It will lock out the user. And lastly, options.clockout.max failed access attempt, and here how many times the user is able to actually set up, or basically how many times the user here is able to input the password wrong before they getting locked out. I'm going to say 5 times. Great. So now that I have done all of this, there is also one more thing that I need to configure within my identity option. And there's one more thing that I want to add here, and this is only because we're doing testing locally on our machine. This should not be in a real life application. I'm not going to require unique email, so I'm going to put options.user.require unique email. I'm going to say equal to false. And that's all of the configuration that I want to add for my identity option. So this will automatically be picked up by my application when it's running, and all of these different rules will be embedded into my login code. And what I want to do right now is just run my application. So now as we can see, my application is running. If I click on register right now, we can see it's asking for a email, password, and confirm. And just to bring your attention to something, I did not create this page. This page has been provided for me out of the box by my .NET application. If I try to create an email, I'm just going to put @am.com. Password, I'm just going to specify any random password. And this password right now, it should basically fail because I did not meet my password criteria of having 12 characters. So what I can do right now is I can say, and again, I need a bit more characters. No, I can see here that my application has, my registration has been completed successfully. And if I basically click here to confirm my email, I'm actually able to utilize this. So if I click on login now, use that same email, am@am.test, and actually I can put my password now. We can see here that I'm actually able to log in. We can see hello am.am, I'm able to log out. So this register page, this login page, and the welcome with an email address. I have not created this. This is all has been available for me from the .NET application. We're going to be seeing how we can customize them, how we can actually see them now. But this is basically how we can interact directly out of the box with them. So now that I was able to actually see that some of the configuration that I have added here are actually working, I'm actually able to configure my application the way I want to. Now we're going to be moving a little step further. We're going to be seeing the database. So if I open my app.db right now, and if I take a look at my tables, I can see here that these are all of the identity tables that my .NET application has created for me. And if I open my users and check the data there, as we can see here that my user am.am is actually available here for me to use. It's actually available inside my application. Okay, so now that I have confirmed that my user has been added, so now what I want to do is I want to actually continue configuring inside my program.cs. Let me make this smaller. So because we're using an MVC application, what I want to do here is I want to configure my secure cookie in order for me to have full access on this as well. So I'm going to put builder.services.configure application cookie, and again I have to specify the options. And basically the first item that I want to configure here, again this is only for testing, and this is going to be regarding HTTP. So I'm going to put options.cookie.http only, and this is basically going to be for testing. Usually it needs to be over HTTPS. And then again options.expiry timestamp, how long this cookie will actually stay available before it actually expires, and I'm going to use timestamp from minutes, and I'm going to say 5 minutes, and then I'm going to specify the default login path. So options.login path, and this login path is going to be through the template that .NET has provided within our areas. I cannot see it right now, but we're going to be scaffolding it and seeing it. But for now, it's going to be /identity, because this is the area that we're going to be utilizing. Then it's going to be accounts, and then it's going to be login. Then we have to specify the options. For the access denied page, we're going to say again /identity /account /access denied. And all of these pages will be available for us. And lastly, I'm going to specify the sliding window, and I'm going to say equal to true. So basically, if a user stay for 4 minutes without inactivity, and then in the last minute they actually utilize, their sliding window then increase back to 5 minutes. So basically this way we'll be able to have a full, so we're not going to be logging out the user, we're going to be utilizing the sliding window in order for us to keep the user logged in. And this will basically allow us to reissue a new cookie whenever this happens. Okay, great. So now that we have configured all of this, the last thing that I want to do here is wherever we have here the use authorization, I'm just going to add before it app.use authentication. As we know, middleware is run in sequence, and basically what I want to do is I want to make sure that we have our authentication middleware is running before our authorization middleware, and this will help with the flow of the application whenever we have any types of secure areas or secure pages or functionality inside our application that we don't want anyone to utilize without being authenticated. Okay, great. So now that this is all configured for us, now what I want to do is I want to actually expand on my areas here, so I'm actually able to see all of these different pages. And for us to do this, there's going to be different packages that we need to install. So for this, I'm going to be opening my terminal, and I'm going to be adding some of these packages here. So the first tool that we need to utilize is going to be the code generator, and this is what's going to allow us to convert whatever inside our identity DLLs into the pages that we need in order for us to configure. And we're going to put .NET tool install, and we're going to utilize the global because we can utilize this with our any application for the .NET code generation. And we're going to put .NET ASP.NET code generator, and as you can see here, it's already been installed on my machine, but for you it might take maybe a few seconds to install. Once we have this in place, now what I want to do is I want to install some packages, and these packages will allow me to actually extract all of the different items that I need. And we're going to be installing also the package for Google Authenticator, so we can add the Google Authenticator to this. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to put .NET add package, which is going to be Microsoft Visual Studio Web.code generation .design, and this is going to be the first one. Great, let's clear this up. Let's just remove this. The second one is going to be .NET add package Microsoft.entity framework core.design. Okay, perfect. Then we're gonna let's clear this up again. .NET add package Microsoft.ASP.NET core.identity.entity framework core. Okay, perfect. Let's clear this up. Now we're gonna put .NET add package Microsoft.ASP.NET core.identity.UI. Again, clear this up. .NET add package Microsoft.entity framework core.SQLite. It's already installed, but okay, clear. And now we're going to utilize our tools as well. Great, clear this up. And lastly, we're going to be utilizing the Google Google Authenticator. So again, .NET add package Microsoft.ASP.NET core.authentication.google. So now that we have installed all of this, we can see there's a bunch of them that has been installed. Just to verify everything is there, I'm gonna check my CS Proj, and as we can see here within my CS Proj, I have all of these different NuGet packages available inside my machine. And once I have done this, I'm gonna clear this. I'm gonna just put .NET build to make sure that everything is building and being restored successfully on my machine. Okay, great, build succeeded, and now I'm able to continue. So once I have done this, now I want to utilize my code generation in order for me to generate all of those different identity pages that I need in order for me to log in. So we're gonna put .NET ASP.NET-code generator. Then I need to specify the identity that I'm using, and because we're gonna be relying on this identity in order for us to have everything here. And when I created my application, an application DB context identity has been created for me out of the box. So this is the identity that I'm gonna be utilizing. So I'm gonna put the DB contact, which is gonna be my application DB contact, and then I want to specify the files that I want to generate. And these files will basically gonna be my login page, my register page. I can generate everything, and I can generate some of them. So if we go to the Microsoft documentation, and if we log in a bit here, we can see here in order for us to generate, what we have to do here is we need to specify what are the files that we want to generate. And if I want to generate everything that I need, I can generate it without specifying the file, or use default UI, and all of the available identity pages were going to be available for me. So this is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to generate all of the pages so we can see them. So if I go back to Rider, I'm going to remove this file. So if we specify all of these different files, we actually have more control of what we want to generate. But if I remove the files and if I run it, and let's take a close area what's happening in the areas here, and as we can see here, because I did not specify any file, it took the default implementation, and I have a lot of pages that has been created. So we can see here, if I open my account, we can see all of these different pages, like the login page, the logout page, the register, the confirmation, everything has been generated for me, and I can customize it from here. So for the register, I'm gonna say here like demo test, and now if I run my application, we should be able to see demo test before I generated these files. I was not able to do that because I did not have access to these pages. So now if I go back to my web browser and click on register again, I'm able to see that I have demo test available here. Okay, great. So now that we have done this and we're actually able to see how we can actually customize the identity and have much more control over it, now let's go back to Rider, and now let us start configuring our Google Authenticator in order for us to actually utilize this inside our application. So what I want to do is I'm going to go back to my web browser, and I'm going to go to a specific domain. So it's going to be console.cloud.google.com. Once I go to this page, if you don't have anything before, you're going to be seeing this welcome page. So what I want to do here is I'm going to click on select a project, and basically I don't have any project here, so I'm just going to click on new project, and with this new project I can call it whatever I want. And for this one, I'm just going to call it not Google Auth. I can call it whatever I want. I'm going to click on create, and now my project is being created. And this is going to allow me to utilize Google APIs within my .NET application in order for me to authenticate against. So now that my project has been created, I'm going to click on select the project. I can click also on the drop-down list to choose it. Once my application has been created, I'm going to go, and I have this screen right here. What I can do, I can go to the burger menu and choose API and services. And once I go to API and services, I should be able to see this, and this is what I exactly need in order for me to get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Auth consent screen. And within this Auth consent screen, I'm going to basically configure my authentication. So I'm going to say what type of users that I'm going to be utilizing within my application. I'm going to say it's going to be external user. I'm going to create. I'm going to call this demo.net app. Support email. I'm just going to utilize my default email here. If I have any application logo, which I don't have, and here basically it's going to ask me for my domain. I don't have any of this right now, so I'm going to leave them empty. Developer contact information is going to be the same one, so I'm going to put Mohamad.test.101, and this is just a dummy Gmail account that I use for testing. And once I have done this, I'm going to click save on continue. I'm going to leave this all empty for now. Save test users. I'm going to leave this empty, and I'm going to see the screen right now. So now that my consent screen has been created, I'm going to go back to dashboard. Once I am in this dashboard page, what I want to do right now, I'm going to go to my credentials, and I'm going to click on the Auth 2.0. And what I want to do is I'm going to create credentials, and I'm going to choose the OAuth client ID. Once I create this one here, I'm going to choose here web applications, and then I'm going to specify this. I'm going to call it demo web app, call it whatever I want. And this is going to be really important. So for the authorized redirect URL, this is going to be the domain, or basically the URL that I'm going to be utilizing in order for my application to capture the login of Google once the Google authentication is gone. So if I take a look at my application, we can see it's running on port 527. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to add this here, HTTP on port 5207. And then what I want to add, and this is going to be really important, it's going to be sign in -Google. And this is the default endpoint that my application will recognize and Google will recognize in order order for me to receive back the response after Google finish its work, it is, I can change it, but because out of the box I did not add any configuration to it, I can just utilize it as is. So now that I have this, I'm gonna click on create, and as you can see here, I received credentials. So I received now my client ID that I can utilize to authenticate against, and I received my secret. So what I can do, I can copy these, and I want to add them to my application. So there's two ways where I can add them to my application. So what I can do is I can add them to my app settings, and basically from there I can utilize them. But I'm gonna show you a different way where I can utilize my secret manager inside my application to do this, because these are very highly and sensitive secret. I don't wanna just put them inside my source code. So in order for me to do this, I'm gonna utilize my user secrets. So I'm gonna put .NET user the secrets. I'm gonna set, and here I'm gonna set my authentication for Google, and it's gonna be the client ID. And here what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna copy this. I'm gonna put it here. So now basically I have set inside my user secret for my .NET application the client ID. Now the second one is gonna be .NET user the secrets set, and this is gonna be for my client secret. Again, it's the same structure, authentication Google client secret, and I'm gonna copy paste it from my website, and I'm gonna put it back in the rider, and I'm gonna save it. So now these are already stored inside my user secret, so I don't have to add them to my app settings. My application will be able to recognize them directly. So now that I have done this, I'm gonna go back to my program.cs, and before my builder.build, what I want to do is I'm gonna add some additional configuration, and they're gonna be builder.services.add authentication, and what I want to do is I'm gonna add Google, and as you can see here, it directly recognizes that there's a Google service authentication, which I'm going to be utilizing. And what I want to do is I'm going to specify right now the configuration that I need. So I'm going to put options, and within these options I'm going to specify the following: the client ID that I have just got, as well as the client secrets. Again, these are the basic configuration. There's much more, but just for simplicity's sake, and we don't have to make this video like 2 hours long, we're just going to be relying on the default one. And to get access to what I have here within the user secrets, I need to utilize my builder.configuration, and it's going to be the same structure of what I have here. And as we can see here, my structure for the user secret is authentication Google client. So I'm just going to copy this and put it here, and I'm going to remove this, we don't need it. And the same thing is going to be for my client secret. So we're going to put now builder.configuration, and I'm going to add the same structure, which is going to be authentication Google and the client secret. Let's put them here. And now basically when I add this, it's automatically going to be recognized by my .NET web application. So if I run my code right now, just give it a second to build, and now we go back to my web browser, and I go back to my application. So right now, before I refresh this, we can see that I don't have any other service that I can utilize out of the box. But if I refresh my page right now, we directly see that I have now a Google icon appear, or a Google button that has appeared. So now if I click on Google, it will take me to see all of the available email account that I have. I'm going to utilize my demo account, and as we can see here that it's telling me to sign into my demo.net app. This is the app that I have created. I'm going to click on continue, and once I have done that, we're going to be seeing it how it's going to be redirecting me back to my application. And now you can see it actually pulled out my email from Google, and you can see here that I have successfully authenticated with Google, and this is the email that's going to be linked to it. So I'm going to click on register now, and we can see that my register has been confirmed, registration has been confirmed, and I'm going to click yes to confirm my account because I did not set up an email yet. So we can see now it has been confirmed. Now if I click on login, and I can log in through Google service, so it's not now only for the register, now it's also for login. I click on Google, we can see it automatically picked up my email, mohamad.test101@gmail.com, and I'm actually able to utilize it directly through Google. I did not set up a username, I did not set up a password. I basically used my Google email to authenticate with my application. And if I take a look at my database now, and I'm gonna click on edit data, and we can see here now I have 2 records inside my database. One is the Gmail one, the other one is an email one, and basically one of them will have a password, the other one will not have a password, because basically it actually took it from Google. And all of this has happened directly inside my application, and this is how simple it is to actually utilize Google Authenticator inside our .NET web application. It's really easy to configure. Just a note here, because this is a demo application, I did not publish it. Only the email that has been set up with the application which can actually utilize it in the development environment. But once you go to Google and actually publish your application and provide all of the required fields, you'll be actually able to make it available for anyone. But for demo purposes, only the user who have registered with the Google service will be able to utilize it. So now that we have been able to see how we can utilize Google to authenticate the user inside our application with a third-party service, we've seen how easy it is to do this integration, how easy it is to actually configure the way we want to. We've seen how powerful identity is in order for us to have a lot of the code out of the box. All we need to do is just configure it. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please make sure you put them in the comments down below. If you have any video suggestions, please also make sure you put them in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.